As the clock struck midnight, Sarah found herself driving down a desolate stretch of road, her knuckles white against the steering wheel. The only sounds were the rhythmic hum of her tires and the occasional rustling of leaves in the wind. She had taken this shortcut to save time, but now regret gnawed at her like a persistent itch. Her phone's battery was dangerously low, and she cursed herself for not charging it earlier. The dark canopy of trees overhead seemed to close in around her as she pressed on, heart pounding. Then, a sickening thud from beneath her car, followed by a sudden jolt, sent her stomach into a freefall. The engine sputtered and died, leaving her stranded in darkness. Desperation mounted as Sarah tried to restart the car, but the engine remained stubbornly silent. Panic gnawed at the edges of her sanity. She knew she had to get out and check the damage, but the thought of leaving the safety of her vehicle sent shivers down her spine. Summoning her courage, she stepped out into the abyss. The moon hung low in the sky, casting eerie shadows across the road. Her breath formed ghostly plumes in the cold air. She squatted down, flashlight in hand, to inspect the damage beneath her car. Her heart sank as she saw the shredded remains of her tire. It looked as though it had been torn apart by some monstrous force. Suddenly, a distant rustling caught her attention. She aimed her flashlight in the direction of the noise, revealing a pair of glowing eyes staring back at her from the darkness. Frozen with fear, she watched as the eyes blinked and vanished, leaving her trembling in the inky blackness. Swallowing hard, Sarah remembered passing a dilapidated gas station a few miles back. She decided to leave her car behind and make the perilous trek in hopes of finding help. Each step seemed to echo with the thud of her racing heart, the silence broken only by the mournful cries of unseen creatures. As she approached the gas station, the flickering neon sign cast eerie shadows that danced on the cracked pavement. The building looked abandoned, with shattered windows and graffiti-covered walls. Sarah's unease deepened, but she had no other choice. Pushing open the creaking door, she stepped inside, her flashlight revealing a scene of decay. Broken shelves lined the walls, and a layer of dust covered everything. A rusted cash register sat on the counter, its drawer hanging open and empty. This place hadn't seen customers in years. Sarah moved cautiously through the store, her footsteps echoing in the silence. She rounded a corner and stumbled upon a blood-stained handprint smeared across the floor. Panic surged through her veins as she followed the gruesome trail, leading her to a grim discovery. In the back room, she found a horrifying tableau. A circle of candles surrounded a crude altar, adorned with bones and strange symbols. The room reeked of decay, and in the center of the circle lay a withered corpse, its flesh mottled and eyes hollow. Sarah's scream was muffled by her trembling hand. She stumbled backward, heart pounding, and raced out of the gas station. The night air felt thick with malevolence, and the darkness seemed to encroach on her from all sides. She had to get back to her car to escape this nightmare. As she approached the spot where she'd left her vehicle, dread washed over her. The car was gone, replaced by a chilling message scrawled in blood on the road. "You're not alone." She spun around, searching the darkness for any sign of movement, but there was nothing but the oppressive stillness. Sarah knew she couldn't stay there, so she continued walking down the road, haunted by the knowledge that something malevolent lurked nearby. Hours passed, and just when she thought she couldn't endure anymore, the first hints of dawn broke through the horizon. Exhausted and terrified, Sarah finally spotted the flicker of headlights in the distance. She flagged down a passing car, the driver shocked to find her in such a state. She babbled about the gas station and the eerie message on the road. The police were called, and they investigated the gas station, finding the gruesome evidence she had described. But as they combed the area for clues, they found no trace of the car that had left the chilling message. To this day, Sarah can't erase the memory of that night, the feeling of being watched in the darkness, and the chilling realization that sometimes the things that haunt us are far more terrifying than anything we can imagine.